Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is September 25th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. Check out this monster of a storm up here off the Pacific Northwest, spreading an atmospheric river into northern portions of California, trying to bring some precip down towards the Bay Area. Not much should make it from this, but then we've got an interesting trough that's going to drop down across the state of California and Nevada here through the extended forecast. We'll take a look at that in some detail here coming up. And also this storm's going to be spreading some pretty big waves down the coastline as well, bringing some windy conditions out there and even some fire conditions off for eastern portions of Northern California. Now, looking a little bit closer, you can kind of see that marine there bouncing around. Even some of the valleys of some of the desert areas might be getting a little bit of fog or mist out there this morning. Kind of interesting to see that there, and pretty persistent marine layer across Southern California as we speak. Looks like that tropical cyclone is not going to develop out there, but no concern to us because that was not expected to move back up over the southwest, as I mentioned yesterday. And here we go, Las Vegas National Weather Service talking about that next trough rolling in here. Look at these temperature drops as you go towards the weekend. I mean, some mid-70s showing up. Big drop, 20 degrees or so. Look at Death Valley, 85 degrees, downright chilly out there. Lake Havasu City and Bishop, no exception there. And we got these gusty northerly winds coming down the coastal areas here and some of the mountains there, Santa Barbara County there. This goes all the way through Wednesday. Some north winds gusting maybe to 50 miles per hour here. It could lower the relative humidity there and bring some brief critical fire conditions for that area here. So nice graphic again from the National Weather Service. Los Angeles. Here we're looking at high surf advisory for some of the coastal areas. You can see the Bay Area in this purple shading here. Look at some of these waves. Look at breaking waves up to 20 feet. Not bad. And this goes through about 11 p.m. Tuesday. Now, this day in Southern Cal weather history, big waves remnant to Hurricane Nora, 1997, brought heavy rain. And look at this, back in 1939, Los Angeles recorded 5.42 inches of rain in 24 hours. Mount Wilson with an incredible 11.9 and some big waves off the coastline there. Pretty interesting stuff. If you want to save 10% off on a nice, affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get here along the West Coast and the Southwest USA, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Checking out Eureka, California, some big winds. Got some wind advisories out there as well. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail here in a moment. But you can see mainly just minor impacts, but pretty gusty across some of the higher terrain and some of the coastal areas also. And this is looking at the high surf advisory for Northern California, mainly Shelter Cove North. And check it out, some big 21-foot breaking waves there. Some early season fun wave watching out there for the coast. Never turn your back on the ocean if you're out there watching. Make sure to face up and be prepared. Here's that wind advisory. You can see some gusts to 55 miles per hour, coastal headlands, and of course the higher terrain out there. And watch out, these early season storms can be some increased concern for some power outages of falling tree limbs and damaging some of those trees that have been kind of weakened during the summertime. Impacts of potential a little bit of drought concern, not even drought, just kind of drier than normal or whatnot with the trees out there. So yeah, anyway, just kind of heads up for that. You can see we've got red flag warnings out there, Klamath Falls, off through northeast portions of California. Got the wind advisories, we got flood watches, we got surf advisories, all kinds of stuff there across Northern California. So heads up for some active weather here. Excessive rainfall outlook does include Southwest Oregon, Northwest California here. We'll look at the precipitation total here in a moment. But now looking at significant wave height, you can see the Pacific Northwest. This storm is generating huge waves. And you can see those spread up towards Vancouver Island, Washington, Oregon coast, and move their way down the California coastline here. And you can see they weaken a bit here as they get around the Point Conception there. But yeah, pretty big waves coming in with this system. So that's why those surf advisories are up here for the next couple of days. Total precipitation on the European yesterday afternoon's run. You can see the atmospheric river moving into California here as we go through the day today. This precipitation totals piling up across some of the higher terrain and the coastal regions as well. Maybe a little bit of light rain down towards the Bay Area. Not expecting too much here, but then watch what happens with this next trough. You'll see this thing start to drop down as we go towards Friday night into Saturday morning. Look at some of this precip kicking off across California. Even some of the higher terrain of Southern California with this chilly upper level low going to drop down across the area, at least according to the European. This is gives us something to watch here closely for the next few days. And this is looking at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, general trough and ridge position. You can see that monster trough and storm off the coastline, atmospheric river associated. Another weak system, maybe not even a weak system there. Another system swings through the Pacific Northwest, get some troughing dropping down across California. Look at that position of that low here, kind of hanging out over California and Nevada as we go on into the extended forecast. That gives us something to watch. That could bring precipitation, some gusty winds here as well. tomorrow. This is looking at the fire complexes here across Northwest California. And the good news is here, check this out on the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh, the 12Z run. This runs every 6 hours and goes out 48 hours. This is showing surface smoke, and check it out. It's not showing any smoke there. It's showing the atmospheric river, really helping out with those fires here. So not bad. There are a few fires here still across some of the Cascades in Northern California and the Sierra Nevada, however, but we can worry about that at a later time here. Maybe that upper level trough will help to extinguish those as we go through the next few days towards the end of this week. This is looking at 6-hour precipitation type. You can clearly see the monster storm there off the coastline, bringing the rain to Northern California. Kind of peters out by the time it reaches the Bay Area. Second system goes into the Pacific Northwest. And then we drop this trough down across the region. You can see it kicking off precipitation, potentially all the way down to Southern California here. We'll see how this trends over the next few days before we get too excited. Showing some snow, actually, too, across the Sierra Nevada here. Maybe the first significant snowfall if this thing ends up just right over the area. But yeah, something interesting to watch here over the next few days for sure. Now, looking at the visual representation up towards 18,000 feet, this is 500 millibars. So you'd be looking up in the atmosphere here, and this is temperature. So you can see kind of that atmospheric river moving across the area there. And then we drop, look at this cold upper level low, just really drop and carve out across the area here. Pretty chilly air aloft. I like to show this one, just kind of gives you a nice representation of what's going on at the upper levels of the atmosphere. As you can see, that pretty chilly air settled over Southern California. This is still a week out for this portion of it, but we have pretty good confidence that somewhat kind of a trough is going to be dropping down across California and Nevada. We'll just have to work out the details as we go. 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. This is temperature also. You can clearly see that cold air coming down across the region. It's kind of a nice look to things here, as you can see that cold air spinning across Southern California in the extended. Now this is 850 millibars, 5,000 feet. Remember, we have a three-dimensional atmosphere here. And as we go on into the end of this week, you can clearly see how the below average temperatures here will be coming with this upper level low settling down over the area, going to cool things down quite nicely. Hence that Las Vegas forecast and some of the areas around California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah are going to cool off by quite a bit here as we go through the next weekend coming up into the next the following week. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. You can see the below average signal here. It continues to exist all the way through October 4th, 6 to 10 day. And that trajectory of that trough is going to mean a lot just to see how much precipitation we can get in here. So right now, no increased signal across California just yet. But we'll watch this over the next few days. You know how it goes. But yeah, interesting stuff there. This is just probably not going to develop into a tropical system out there, but it was of no concern to us anyway. But yeah, the big story, this big storm here just lashed in the Pacific Northwest with lots of rainfall, atmospheric river hitting Northern California, some strong gusty winds with that as well. And it could be some gusty winds across the rest of the area, but nothing too crazy. And then we turn our eyes to that next trough dropping down across the area. So anyway, check out my El Nino video if you guys want to see what El Nino is. And yeah, and leave some comments and questions below. Without you guys, all my watchers, all my subscribers, this channel means nothing. You guys make this thing happen. So keep clicking like, keep leaving comments, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. And yeah, get the word out. We'll get this channel going. We'll get the word out to more people here across the area. Keep educating folks and keep watching the weather day to day. And we're bound to pick things up here as we go on in through next week. And of course, through the fall and winter months, we'll continue to watch this daily. So anyway, yeah, I'll do my normal briefing tomorrow. I may be out storm chasing today up here across Pacific Northwest. Maybe I'll go look at some big waves. And there's even a little bit of a tornado chance up here. If you can believe it or not, we usually get the brief, quick types up here. But yeah, anyway, I may be out doing that later. So anyway, check back tomorrow. I'll do my regular briefing then, and I'll talk to you guys then.